Now through 3 weeks in the high school football season, and it is time to talk about Mike DeMoro's state rankings, his poll, also to talk about this coming week's game on game day, and then I have a question to pose to Mike, and I won't bury the lead on that, but let's quickly any major changes in your poll this week?
Yeah, it's back to one ECC team. Okay, so that's it. Killingly stays at 2. I had Ledyard at 15. They got the shutout Friday at Griswold, who is not bad, by the way. And Fitch would have probably been the next logical team to move up. They got shut out at Amity, and I got really frustrated. So
my power rankings had Fitch 2 and Ledyard 3, and they both got shut out this week. I gave Fitch a little bit of a pass because they had to drive to 4 states over to get to their game. So I gave them a little bit of a pass. They have a chance at redemption, obviously, this coming Friday, which we'll talk about in a moment. But not a great week for the power rankings or for the teams that we were looking to sort of step up and emerge as threats beyond the conference. We were looking at, like, is there a threat to Killingly / is there a team that can win on the state level? And as of right now, we don't know that there is someone. There definitely doesn't appear to be anyone to threaten Killingly, but right now there does not appear to be a real state threat outside of Killingly.
No. I mean, I thought Fitch really had a chance the other night because Amity pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's a road game, and that would have been a nice win for them to have, and nothing. So I would imagine Mike Ellis would have their attention this week for our game.
Yeah, so we'll looking forward to this week's game of the week on game day, Friday night, live from Fitch High School. It is the two teams that I have no idea what to make of now because they have both decided to baffle me. It's East Lyme at Fitch. So Fitch had, I know we can't use the transitive property in sports, but Fitch had a win over Wyndham, which I thought was a good win, and then Bacon Academy went out and smacked Wyndham. So now you're saying, well, maybe Wyndham's not that good, so maybe that win's not so good. They lose to Amity, but you're saying it's a road game against a good team, and so I don't know what to make of Fitch. Similarly, East Lyme's 2-1, and I can't make anything out of any of their games because their 2 wins are against East Haven and Woodstock, who haven't won a game between them. And their loss was to Killingly, who might be the best team in the state. So I have no idea what to expect Friday night.
Well, I'll say this. I think Tom Klein very quietly is doing a really nice job at East Lyme because they didn't just win Friday. East Haven's not very good, but it was 38-0.
Yes.
That's them. They didn't win 14-10. So I'm really interested to see them in this game. I mean, we see Fitch a lot. I have not seen East Lyme live in a while. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I am too. And again, there is not a score you could give me right now that I would be surprised by. And I mean that if it was 35-6 in either direction, I don't think I would be surprised. If it was 15-14, I don't think I would be surprised. I really don't know what to make of either of these two teams. And when you deal with Fitch, you have to factor in style, right? So there are certain teams that match up well against that option, offense. There are teams that just can't handle it. We saw Griswold do what NFA couldn't against Ledyard. Similarly, Amity had a plan against Fitch that they were able to execute. Some teams just are not able to execute that. So I don't know what East Lyme's going to attempt to do. On the offensive side of things, East Lyme's got a good quarterback, good running back, good wide receiver. Fitch is going to have some athletes on defense. They always try to have an athletic defense. So I I don't know what to make of this week at all.
I don't know what to make of the whole thing. Okay, so like I came away Friday night. I can't say because Killingly is in this league. I can't say what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Colby Mills may be the best player in the league at Griswold, which I saw Friday, and big arm, good athlete, and he changed the game with a punt.
That's the under. I mean, I think that might be the sort of unmentioned part most about Mills. He's a basketball player, a very good basketball player, but I don't know that and I'm not even sure he understands how talented he is as a football player. As a quarterback, I think he's the best pure passer in the league. In a league where there are some talented passers, by the way, and he's got a great weapons with Nick Coolwaters and Aiden Cutter, who I need to get a nickname for. But the thing that he might change games most with is his punting. He might be a high level college punter.
Yeah, it was over 50 yards. Chased the Ledyard kid back. The punt got muffed. Griswold, Nick Waters fell on it. Touchdown on the next play.
So I'll say this about Colby is if he does end up going, he's a 3-sport athlete and he's good in all 3 sports. If he does whatever sport he ends up going to play, if it's not football, the football coach at that school should immediately walk up to him and say, "Would you like to walk on at the very least and be our punter?"
Yeah.
Because he's very talented that way. So
his dad, Jim, was a defensive end there the year they beat Ansonia in the playoffs. Bob Brackett was coaching. One of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, the year. Like that's a year that's circled forever in their history. So, all right, that's a good segue to this is the headline. Headline of the video. Why does the ECC stink in football?
I asked myself this question. I asked myself this question a lot. I would say as a league, it is competitive in everything but.
So what I did right there was called clickbait, hot take, because we don't stink in football. But the point is this: you've got a team in Killingly that is a state championship team and will compete at that level again. When's the last state champion outside of Killingly?
New London in 2008 with Jack Cochran.
You go down the list of the premier schools. Fitch hasn't won it in 20 some odd years.
2000.
Ledyard hasn't won it.
07.
Griswold, the aforementioned, back with Brackett and you're going down the list of teams. East Lyme.
03.
So it has been a long time since an ECC team outside of Killingly has won a state championship. And it begs the question, why? Boys basketball, girls basketball, boys soccer, girls soccer, baseball, softball, state champions all over the place, up and down the league. What's going on with football?
Okay, so go look at the top 10 again in the state. And I bet you would characterize most of those teams as coming from affluent towns. How many towns are around here would we call affluent?
Yeah, there's a couple towns in the ECC that we would call affluent, but those towns you referenced wouldn't call them affluent.
No, I would call we around here think East Lyme is.
Right.
I would say compared to New Canaan, East Lyme would be upper middle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And the reason we're saying this is football is becoming, to me, a sport for the elite now. It is very expensive in the off season to hone the craft without going to expensive camps for a week, without going to personal trainers. And I think that's one thing that happens in Greenwich, New Canaan, places like that. That's not happening in Groton and Norwich.
So I think there's two ways of being successful in football. We've got your smaller working class towns, Killingly, Ansonia, places like that, where football is a sort of cultural thing that where they get all of the support start to finish in the town, from the minute you're playing a sport to the minute you're out of there, and then you come back. I mean, again, Soren Reef, iconic generational player, was at, he's at UConn. He was at the football game when they played Bishop Hendricken. Like, they come back. It's a Killingly thing for football. You see the same thing with Ansonia. What we would consider to be not so much inner city schools, but diverse schools, Bloomfield, Windsor. Bloomfield's plays in the smaller bracket. Windsor's one of the few that succeeds in football at the bigger school level. I'll give you an example of a school that's big that I wouldn't consider affluent that's been successful. Southington.
They used to be. They were at one point. I think they beat NFA in the finals one year. But yeah, no, I agree.
But the point is, they're the outliers. They're the exceptions to the rule. If you go down the successful schools every year, they're either Catholic schools of choice, who succeed on the lower levels and still do, or very affluent schools, Cheshire, New Canaan, Greenwich. Go down the list. It's an interesting point, because I think for the bigger schools in the ECC, right, NFA, Fitch, East Lyme, those are the bigger schools. They can't match up resource-wise with those schools. Why can't the smaller ECC schools match up with the smaller statewide schools?
I don't. I wish I had an answer. I don't.
We'd make you ECC commissioner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I one of the things, I wonder if you made this point. If kids are specializing more now in one sport, and it's not football, because there's the perception out there that the risk of injury is a lot higher if you play football, and it is.
I've seen more baseball and basketball players choose to not play football because of the fear. And this goes back, by the way, that is not new. Chris Dunn might have been one of the best football players in the state, and he said, the writing's on the wall, I'm not playing. I mean, the Scott Burrells of the world are a thing of the 80s, where his career could have been in any of those sports, but he didn't give up football, but then eventually did, because you see the future. I don't know a lot of kids who are successful basketball or baseball players who choose to specialize and keep football in the mix. So football players are not only doing the battle of football being a tough sport that requires some physicality that does risk injury. It's competing with other sports more than it ever has before for numbers. Maybe we should be seeing the rise of flag football, both as a very popular girls' sport, but also as a very popular youth sport. Maybe we should be seeing the rise of flag football as an indication that maybe there's something to football, the image that football has. I don't know that a baseball pitcher would say, I can't play flag football because I don't want to get hurt. So I'm wondering if maybe that really is something to it.
I think at the youth level, I think all we should be playing is flag football. We can teach blocking and tackling when their bodies are more mature. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know some kids, love flag football. It's fun.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know some kids that played flag with. In order for flag to get more popular, though, you're going to have to find a way to include the big guys. Because right now, so as the father of a college center, flag football did not really appeal to him all that much because there wasn't a lot for him to do. He could go out for pass patterns and stuff, but if you're a 12-year-old and you're a big offensive line kind of 12-year-old, flag football might be like, not as much. So there needs to be a way to kind of let them get involved in it as well. I like what the passing league did when the offensive linemen had to do drills, skill drills, like the tug of war and flip the tire and get them involved in things as well. So it wasn't just the skill guys out there. But there's definitely something. I mean, the Olympics are going to include a flag football team for the first time ever. Girls flag football is becoming incredibly popular. So there's something there.
Okay, so the model was the COVID year at the varsity level when it was 7 on 7, but the big guys had all these drills to do, and they would get points too.
That's right.
I think that's what youth football should look like right now.
So I want to hear from you in so much as why do you think the ECC is struggling so much to compete across multiple divisions or multiple schools on the state level? What are your thoughts on how that might improve or change? What's the difference? Why do we get 2 and 3 state championship teams in basketball, girls, boys, basketball, soccer? Does football maybe most resemble lacrosse in the ECC? But on lacrosse, it's because we're still catching up, that there are still teams adding lacrosse programs. Football, we used to be a premier league. So I want to hear from all of you. Throw your opinions out there. But Peter, do you have any insight into this particular topic?
What I think what Mike's describing for the passing league, flag football, youth football is never going to happen. You are never going to get a 10-year-old kid to sign up for a sport and say, no, you don't get to touch the ball. You have to go flip a tire. And it's unfortunate. I didn't play youth football. I played high school football, and I learned about self-sacrifice and working for the team, and that's a great lesson. But think about every other youth sport where you can line up all the kids and they're all throwing a baseball back and forth to each other. Or you one of the things, I coach soccer, and one of the fundamental things when they're little is time spent with the ball on their foot. We don't put them out 11v11 with one ball. You get a ball on the foot of as many kids as possible. And in football, I mean, I'm impressed that at the youth level, you can get kids to agree to be linemen where all they're doing is pushing another kid around. To take that away from them, I don't see it happening, unfortunately.
He should be over here. I'll go sit over there next week.
Oh, that's why the power rankings are so popular, because Peter just mocks me for the things that I do, and I think that's where the power rankings are coming into play. So, in a nutshell, Killingly remains a popular choice at the top of the polls. They are undefeated and have a game against New London this week. Our game, Fitch and East Lyme, will once again muddy the waters of the ECC picture. I promised that if more than 3 of my teams lost in my power rankings this week, that I would come next week with a crystal ball and a Swami hat. And let's just say that those are in the cart on Amazon. I'm ready at this point for that. But again, out to you, the public. Let's go. Why is the ECC struggling statewide from a championship perspective? What needs to change? And or would you be on board with a pivot away in high school toward a more flag football-oriented style? Send us your opinions. Let's go. Until Friday night, live from Fitch High School, we'll be there, the game day crew, 6:15, with the Phillies pregame show, as always, bringing you all the action. We're looking forward to it. Mike, until we do this again next week, thank you very much, as always, for the insight.
See you next week.